Chapter 5. As Claire entered the room, Oscar waved the book high and excitedly announced,
I read the chapter.
Claire's voice was high-pitched with excitement.
Great. What did you think?
It was fucking amazing. I expected an alien sort of instructional tone, but it really touched me. It reminded me a bit of my own situation.
Claire's eyes widened with surprise, a small gasp.
Oh my gosh, I never made that connection. Good call, Oski.
He felt a growing sense of connection with Claire.
Yeah. It is nice. It really touched me, but I don't want to talk about that, knowing how you feel about sharing emotions.
Claire patted his arm as she settled into her spot beside him.
I love emotions, Oscar. Please give me all the positive emotions you've got.
Her voice softened.
But I'm not here for the whining, complaining, or emotional trauma, especially not from you. Because I like you.
Oscar winced while trying to grasp her sentiment. Claire continued.
If I didn't like you, I'd enable your self-sabotage by giving attention to your negativity and validating that behavior. If I hated you, I'd offer pity, sympathy, to lock you into your struggle. If I despised you, I wouldn't just listen. I'd encourage you to keep going down that path, offer some advice, and give you something to ponder, further compounding your problem. But I do like you, Oscar. So I won't reinforce you vocalizing. And then re-experiencing your pain.
She smiled and she squeezed his arm affectionately.
So, you've read the first chapter. Well done. You're probably wondering what else there is to discuss, since it all seems self-explanatory. I want to show you how the world has responded and what has been implemented since then. However, we need to be cautious about information overload. We won't go through it chapter by chapter. Let it sink in as you go, and we can chat about whatever comes up naturally.
Oscar's head nodded slowly, his interest piqued as he listened to her explanations. Claire was pleasant and fun, but she could switch into teacher mode when necessary. As she did, Oscar realized she wanted him to pick up on what she was laying down, so he increased his nodding frequency.
We've learned the importance of allowing certain areas of the brain to rest. To achieve this, we need to give your brain something engaging to do that will use different processes than the ones that have been taxed. We need to make sure no element is ever overworked. It's all about cooperation, listening to your body and brain so they get the rest they need. I'm having a gaming console brought in today with games you used to enjoy. This time, you won't get into trouble for it. Your parents now understand that you were doing your best to cope with overwhelming emotions when you were a teenager.
Cool.
He replied, his enthusiasm palpable.
I can't wait to try the new systems and games.
Claire's tone had a note of apology.
For now, we'll have to stick with the ones you're familiar with and your old gaming system, I'm afraid.
Oscar's smile showed a sense of resignation washing over him, his voice frustrated.
Yes, sure. What fucking ever.
Just then, the big door he had often gazed at, wishing it would open, swung wide.
Not now.
He thought.
Not when Claire is here.
A woman entered. Her tone was polite as she came in.
Hi, I don't want to interrupt. I just need to check on something.
Claire's back stiffened. She sat taller in her chair. She seemed a bit flustered as she adjusted her hair. She replied with a smile.
Hi, I'm Claire and this is Oscar. You must be new here.
The woman chuckled as she casually walked over to Oscar's bed. She spoke with a smooth, measured tone.
Oh, it's my first time on this side of the complex. I'm Ansho.
Neither Claire nor Oscar could take their eyes off of her until she finally disappeared back behind the closing door. Claire's excitement bubbled over. Her eyes were wide as she turned to Oscar, her voice brimming with a mixture of surprise and admiration.
Oh my God, Oscar,
she exclaimed.
She's gorgeous.
Oscar thought the same, but he was surprised by Claire's open and enthusiastic reaction. Ansho had a similar build to Claire, but seemed edgy, like someone who had seen, heard, and felt more than the average person. She was alive. She beamed it, and she announced it in the confident glide in her step, the intensity in her eyes, and the energetic solidity that surrounded her, which had temporarily engulfed them. Oscar was playful as he teased Claire. Feeling a tinge of disappointment, but excited as well, he said with a slight smirk,
I didn't know that you're into women.
Claire's eyes sparkled with amusement, her voice light and playful.
Oh, I am Oscar. Let me tell you, I am really into Ancho.
She laughed.
But don't get me wrong, I like men too if the chemistry and situation are right and the stars are aligned, so to speak.
Oscar smirked.
What about our situation? How are the stars looking?
Asked, testing the boundaries. Claire stood and leaned close to Oscar's ear. He could feel the heat of her breath upon his skin.
Oh, Oscar.
She breathed into him.
I'm here in a professional capacity, managing a very important situation, and your care is my responsibility. I take that seriously. Can you imagine if I acted on my impulses when Ancho was here? I mean, wow, she stirred something deep down within me. Maybe you can sense it. Can you smell my excitement, Oski? When she leaned over to reach the cupboard, it felt like she lingered a little longer than was necessary against me. I could almost reach inside her. I felt her spirit swirl within me. What if I caressed her and she liked it? Right here, in front of you. Imagine that? If that continued, oh, Oscar, how inappropriate would that be?
He felt her words penetrate his ear and defenses. Her lips were mere millimeters away. The slightest miscalculation and inappropriate contact would occur. She moaned quietly and continued,
What if we kissed and explored each other's bodies? Right here at your bedside.
Oscar's heart raced, pumping blood to the extremities, engorging him for action, a flush creeping up his cheeks. Claire continued,
The willpower I'd need to muster, just to try to stop myself. I'd be swamped in an avalanche of desire. Imagine if I could have found a way to say, stop. It isn't fair to Oscar. What if I tried to pull away, but Ancho was too invested, too abandoned in her lust to have me and refused my escape? What if she told me that she had a solution as she dragged me onto you? What if you started kissing me, exploring every pore of my body while she took you in her mouth? Imagine that.
The heat of her breath caused a tingle that electrified his skin, then surged throughout his body. He stammered, his voice slightly shaky.
So, you're saying I should imagine it?
Claire pulled back, ever so slightly as her eyes held his, her voice hushed with yearning.
Yes, Oscar. Please close your eyes and picture it. Just let it unfold naturally. Don't manufacture it. Visualizing it is about feeling it in your body. Don't control it. Allow it to take you for a trip. Be the passenger.
He closed his eyes, surrendering to Claire's flammable words. He had a vision in which he saw Ancho beside him. He felt Claire lean in closer. She removed his sheet and caressed him. Every sensation electrified his body. A cascade of lava seared his soul. Ancho sat on his face, while Claire sat on his manhood. They kissed each other. His eyes opened, but in the real world, Claire was sitting there next to him, fully dressed with her eyes closed. Oscar closed his eyes again and immediately returned to the vision of Claire and Ancho, who were now standing on either side of him, giving him their full attention. It felt as if their spirits surged through his veins, a physical sensation he had never before experienced. Even though the vision was sexual in nature, he didn't feel lust, but rather love and nurturing. Waves of delight and bliss danced around him and surged through him, culminating in a powerful intensity that boiled beneath the surface, bursting forth like a tidal wave. The energy exploded from his penis, forming silver clouds of ecstasy that momentarily hovered above him before transforming into gold and descending back into him, infusing his body with its glow. He felt incredible, joyful, and peaceful. A deep satisfaction enveloped him as euphoria surged through his flesh in waves, again and again. As this subsided, he drifted into a profound relaxation, allowing himself to marinate in the moment. His voice was scarcely above a whisper, filled with awe and confusion.
What the fuck was that?
He finally murmured as the effect began to fade. Claire was still seated beside him, just as immobile and lost in the moment as he was. Her voice was soft and gentle as she slowly opened her eyes, her smile radiating.
Welcome to the WDS. It's called the waking dream state. And what I just used to help you find it is a technique called intentional musing.
Oscar was bewildered as he tried to comprehend the experience.
It felt like a dream, but more real. I mean, fucking hell, wow, what was it?
Claire giggled with a sense of playfulness. They fell into a comfortable silence until Oscar drifted off to sleep. When he awoke, Claire was gone. He marveled at the intensity of what had just happened and how incredible he felt. A note was left on the bedside table.
Rest up. I will explain this when I get back. You think it is good now? Wait until you find out what it does. I told you the world is a better place. Haha, smiley face. Claire.